Over the last couple of years, Lincoln has begun the process of reinventing themselves, and this Continental was the first big step. This is a model that, along with the new Navigator, will serve as the flagship of the brand, and therefore also as a template for all the other models to follow. This Continental only just came out last year, so for 2018 there are no major changes to the car's 4 trim levels, all of which will be covered in this video. The new Continental makes a bold statement design-wise, so let's go ahead and see if it's more than skin deep. We would like to specially thank Madison County Ford Lincoln for inviting us out to film one of their vehicles. If you want to find out more information about their dealership and massive inventory of new Ford and Lincoln products, then click on the link to their website provided in the video description. As you would expect, every Continental comes with Lincoln's Smart Entry system, and this very large high-quality key fob. They also include remote start. Of course, one of the most unique characteristics of the Continental are the fully integrated electronic door handles. Just squeeze to release. Before we dig into the richly appointed cabin, we'll first discuss the 3 powertrains. So like I already said, there are 3 engines you could find under the hood. The first is a 305 horsepower, 3.7 liter naturally aspirated V6, which comes on the Premier and Select. However, our Select has the optional 2.7 liter twin turbo V6, making 335 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. This is the engine that's standard on the top 2 trims, Reserve and Black Label. But those also have the additional option of a Lincoln exclusive 3 liter twin turbo V6, bringing the total to 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Regardless of engine choice, every model comes paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and front-wheel drive is standard except for the loaded models with the 400 horsepower engine. All that taken together makes for 5 fuel economy combinations, but they're all surprisingly close to each other. The 3.7 liter comes in at 20 combined, and our 2.7 liter at 21. Subtract 1 from that for all-wheel drive. Lastly, the all-wheel drive only 3 liter twin turbo comes in at 19 combined. Well, that's a real quick rundown of the Continental's mechanics, so now let's explore the bold exterior. The Continental was the first Lincoln to show off their new corporate grille, which to me looks both bold and sophisticated. This is what it looks like on every trim level, with thick chrome on the outside and a silver mesh that looks like little Lincoln emblems on the inside. Turning to the headlights, these are the bifunctional HIDs with LED daytime running lights, standard on every trim except Black Label. That model comes with fancier adaptive full LED lights. And then down below, you have more accent lighting, not fog lamps. As you would expect from a car that has a 40 grand price spread, there are many different wheel designs. What we have are the optional 20-inch polished aluminum wheels with dark painted pockets. However, even the base 18-inch wheels on the Premier look pretty good, as do the standard Select wheel and Reserve wheel. Finally, the Black Label has its own exclusive 20-inch design. The brakes are 13.9 and 13.6 inch ventilated disc in the front and rear respectively. The tires are all seasons, but there are available summers. Heading up to the mirrors, Lincoln was nice enough to include heating, power folding, turn signals, puddle lamps, and auto dimming across the entire lineup. They too have a really unique look. And one other thing to point out is the blind spot monitoring system, optional on this Select, but standard on Reserve and up. Here's the indicator which lights up when a vehicle is in your blind spot. So the Continental is a really large sedan, measuring in at 201.4 inches long overall. That puts it in line with something like the Cadillac CT6 or the standard wheelbase Lexus LS. If you compare based on price instead, it is substantially larger than the likes of the Mercedes E-Class or Lexus ES. Moving on to safety, the new Continental sweeps the floor with the Insurance Institute safety test. It scored the highest rating of good on every one of them, making it a top safety pick plus. It is, however, important to remember that active safety technologies are only available on Reserve and Black Label as part of a $4,200 tech package. Some rivals include that stuff standard or at a much lower price point. As we move around to the back of the Continental, you'll see that like the front, it has a very unique look to it. The design makes a statement, but without being flashy or overbearing. Lincoln is spelt out across the deck lid, and underneath are the full-length taillights. These are what gives the rear its pizzazz, with chrome that uniquely integrates right into the unit. All models will also find dual horizontal exhaust outlets, fully integrated into the bumper. Every Continental comes equipped with an 18-gallon fuel tank, good for 396 miles of range in the most efficient setup. From there, numbers fall to 342 miles for the 400 horsepower model. Lincoln does recommend premium fuel across all engines. Well, that concludes everything on the outside, so now let's get to the arguably more important interior. So before we get inside, there are two other neat things I want to show you about the door. If you were wondering how to lock it, there's actually a sensor above the handle, which disappears from view when not in use. The other thing is the soft close feature, to pull the door closed if you fail to do so. So first, looking inside, the cabin has a very rich appearance, which is no doubt helped by this car's light cappuccino color scheme. Ebony is also available for the Select and Premier, while Reserve unlocks the additional options of Jade Gray and Terracotta. But the biggest interior differences are definitely on the Black Label. This trim gets the choice between 3 ultra-luxurious themes, all of which include Venetian leather seating, unique trim, and leather on the dash and upper door trim. The choices are Chalet, Rhapsody Blue, and Thoroughbred. Turning our attention to the door trim, it too is made from very nice materials, with padded leather on the armrest and on the upper portion. You also have beautiful wood and real chrome trim. Of course, these are your seat controls, Mercedes style. On this Select and Premier, they are 10-way power adjusting, but Reserve and Up come with 24-way ones. There is also the option of getting the perfect position seats, which are 30-way adjusting, and include massage functions. You also have 3-person memory located here. Of course, all 4 of your windows are one-touch automatic. The bridge of wear leather on this Conti is very nice, and it feels right up there with the nicest semi-aniline and Napa hides. So first looking around, I can already tell that this interior is not like any Lincoln I've ever been in before. And the materials are exactly what they look like. On all but the black label, the upper dash is made of high quality soft touch plastic with stitching. And in the middle, we have authentic open pore wood and real chrome. All of the lower areas are padded. And there's a ton more wood and chrome through here. Finally, there is a leather pad for your knee. To start, press the standard button. When you do, this 8-inch high-res screen will fire up on all models. These are your digital gauges, standard on every trim. Of course, like any other car with them, you can customize and reconfigure them to your liking. For instance, I just got rid of the tach in favor of fuel economy. The steering on every Continental is electric power assisted, and every model comes with this nice leather wrapped wheel with stitching, wood, and chrome. On the left side, you have your audio and cruise controls. And on the right, all the buttons are for the gauge cluster. You do have Lincoln exclusive switchgear and paddles on the back of the wheel. The steering wheel itself is power adjusting on all models, and heated with the climate package. Moving on to the storage, the Conti has plenty. The center console opens in 2 parts, with felt lining on the top portion. The lower part is also felt lined, and is pretty large even though it's not completely flat. Finally, there is a 12-volt outlet. Underneath the wood, there is some more storage and cup holders. The front portion reveals a pretty deep bin, which also contains your 2 USB ports. Heading up from there, you have the climate panel. It is dual zone automatic on all but the black label. The controls are very easy to use since they are large and well labeled. I also have to commend the tactile feel of this toggle. Any changes you make also show up on the screen, and you can make adjustments up there if you prefer for some reason. Right with those buttons, you have the 3-stage heated seats on all models. And 3-stage ventilation would be here on the Reserve and up. And here's the physical button for the heated steering wheel. Now let's go ahead and listen to the standard 10-speaker audio system. I'm impressed by the sound quality considering this is just the base setup. Up next to the screen, you have the electronic gear shift. Obviously you just press D for drive. You can also press the S to go into sport mode and control the shifting via the paddle shifters. When in reverse, the standard backup camera will pop up. It has guidance lines, trajectory, and parking sensors. But a 360-degree camera is only available in the tech package. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Sync 3 system. So for Lincoln Duty, there is nothing different about Sync 3 besides for the brown color scheme. That means it continues to work very quickly and make good ergonomic sense. In audio, you can play and pause music coming through the standard Bluetooth. And here are the other sources available currently. Phone contains all the stuff you would expect, including your contacts, which automatically sync over. We also have navigation, which comes courtesy of the Select Plus package. Once again, it is the same as in Ford, so scrolling and zooming are very smooth. The last thing I want to cover is that both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are supported, and would appear here if I had them connected. That's all I'm going to cover in this video, but if you want to see a very detailed look at the entire Sync 3 system, then check out our dedicated tech help video. A link is provided in the description. By the way, you do have a brake hold way over here. Up top, the mirror is auto-dimming with the climate package. But all models come with these universal remotes. As you can see, we don't have a moonroof, but a power panoramic one is available for $17.50 on Select and Reserve. It is standard on Blacklane. So overall, I'm definitely impressed by the cabin of this Continental. Not only is it genuinely nice, but it's also genuinely unique, something that's becoming more and more rare in the auto industry. This is a vehicle that knows its mission and executes it in a purely American way. If other Lincolns follow this path, they are on the road to success. Now Mason will show off the rest.
As expected from a luxury sedan, materials do follow through from the front. There's a lot of padded leather where your elbows rest, and anything that's not leather is padded nicely. The window is fully automatic up and down. And surprisingly, even the bottom of the door trim is padded. In the rear of the Continental, you'll find a massive 41.3 inches of legroom and 37.7 inches of headroom. Of course, that does place it at the top end of several classes, besting the Cadillac XTS, Mercedes E-Class, and BMW 5 Series. In the center, you will find these vents on all models. And below it, we have 2-stage heated rear seats optionally. And finally, at the bottom, we have several different outlets to keep everybody charged and happy. Our model has a regular armrest, which is leather wrapped and has some felt line storage inside. There's also a few cup holders in the end. Now let's mention real quick the executive rear seat package. It costs $4,300 on both Reserve and Black Label, and it makes the rear seats massage, heat, ventilate, and recline. Pretty much anything a passenger could desire. Moving on from that, we do have a trunk pass-through. Up top we've got a light, assist grip, and a good headliner. So, like most in the class, space isn't an issue for the Continental. With the seat adjusted to Drew's position, I have enough room to fully stretch out. And as we move over, this is what it's like with the seat all the way back. Overall, the rear of the Continental is an amazing place to be. Our tester is far from loaded, but the features thrown in, comfort, and space are unbeatable for a mid-$50,000 price tag. I leave the rear area very impressed. You can fold the rear seats by using the lever located beside the headrest. They do fold 60-40 split. Starting on Select models and up, you get this hands-free power trunk standard. Just wave your foot under the bumper. Once you do, you'll find another impressively large area. It's rated at 16.7 cubic feet, which once again makes it quite a bit larger than the XTS, E-Class, and 5 Series. The seats themselves are quite attractive, and they are 10-way power adjusting on our model. Obviously, they can be upgraded to Lincoln's 30-way perfect position seats if you prefer. Materials in front of the passenger are nice, with leather, stitching, wood, and padded plastics. The glove box is also dampened and felt lined. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed watching the first in-depth review of the 2018 Lincoln Continental Select. Stay watching for a quick overview of the pricing, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons below. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.